Hey everybody, it's Carmasino here at Chaikin Analytics. I'm your Chief Market Strategist, and this is the Chaikin Power Feed video series. Each and every week, we kind of go over an article that we had posted up onto the website and kind of bring it to life a little bit. And this week, we're going to be talking about the utility sector. Now, I know that's not the hot sector, and you'd be right for knowing that or even thinking that. Why? It's one of the worst rated sectors here on the Chaikin Power Feed system. But it's not something that we just started to be bearish on recently. We've been bearish on it for quite some time. We're going to show you the chart when it changed. You can look at the article too, but the broad theme here is that this is a defensive sector. It's not just the only defensive sector. It's one of three. I didn't make these up. Wall Street made these up a long time ago. One of them is utilities. The other one is consumer staples. And the third is healthcare. Now, all of them are performing a little bit differently, but none of them are keeping up with the general market, like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. And as I'm filming this today, you'll see where the high was recently on the XLU, how far it went down, which is roughly around 20 some odd percent, and where it is today, still down about 10% from its high, while the markets just right now, as I'm recording, are up over 1%, the S&P and the NASDAQ 100 alone. And so my point is that when you see the defense leave the field, in other words, on the downside, there's a rotation. It's moving into offense. These are the growth sides of the market. But it's real easy to see on the chart, and that's what we're going to do right now. All right, I'm starting on a 5-year version of our Chaikin chart. Now you can see this is 2022 right here. You can see where it turned to 2023. We started to be bearish on this somewhere around that October 2022. And I can tell you what happened at that time. Within a week or two of that area turning negative, the market's really bottomed. If you go back and look at the S&P 500 chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. But look at the utilities. They never really got above that 77 level. And, you know, on the initial move down, it was down around $60, but it continued and got even lower. Now let's jump to the 1-year chart real quick. I also want to point your attention to the rating. You can see it's bearish right now. But I said to you, it's underperforming the S&P. And how do I know that? Well, its relative strength versus the S&P 500 is negative. It's below the 0.5 that we look at. So you're going to see that turn orange, so to speak, right? Or sort of negative. But also look at the rating. The rating has trailed that as well perfectly, either being neutral or bearish along the way. As I said, it was up around $70 or so. It went as low as around 55 and change. That's about a 20% move down. And even trading at these current levels, it's still down about 10% from its recent high. The point of this is that the markets are really rip-roaring to the upside. You might get a dividend on a utility ETF or even in an individual utility stock, but the dividend isn't going to protect you from the downside. If you're down 20% or even 10%, utilities aren't paying that much to kind of offset that. So just be careful, understand what defense means in the markets, and understand what offense means and when to be in both. And that's what the Power Gauge does. It helps you identify which side of the ball you should be on. All right, folks, that's it for our Chaikin Power Feed video series this week. Again, I'm Pete Carmasino, your Chief Market Strategist. We reviewed the defensive sector XLU. You can see it's clearly in a downtrend. All right, join us next time when we review another article here on the Chaikin Power Feed video series. Until then, take care.